in this video, I'm going to explain how to do a gradient wash. What are the things that you should look forward, like what are the things that plays a very good important role in doing a gradient wash. Let's say that you want darker color at the top and lighter color at the bottom. Let's say dark blue color at the top, and slowly color is fading from dark to light. And it can be one color to another color. Let's say it is turning from orange to yellow. You want to have 2 or 3 colors also. In that case, you can use gradient wash. Gradient wash is mostly used for like background areas where smoothly the color is going from one point to another. Okay, so I will explain you gradient wash. I will also explain you a flat wash just to help you understand the difference between them. So I have got this palette, the dirty one, and I will just add a little bit of water and I will mix it. So I'm adding a little bit of water. So you can take any paint for that. It is not necessary for you to take any specific paint. And also I will just grab a little bit of paper towel, which I always recommend people to have paper towels. So I will just get that. So I'm just mixing some paint, and it can be watery consistency paint or milky consistency paint. It totally depends upon you. I will do the flat wash first, and then I will do the gradient wash. Okay, so this is Archie's cold pressed paper, and I will explain you the flat wash. This is the paint I have. You can see that it is more like a milky consistency paint. You can make it watery to milky, or any consistency paint is okay. You take a brush, and in flat wash, what happens is you maintain the entire area with same color. So I'm just taking from the washes, you lift the paper. So it is like slanted. So my paper is not horizontal flat, it is slanted. Okay, so that is one thing you have to remember when you're doing washes. Also, you take the brush which is having a lot of capacity to hold paint, right? If you are not sure about whether it is going to hold a lot of paint or not, you can take a bigger brush. So this is number 14, I guess. You can do it with a smaller brush also. I'm doing it with a 14 size brush. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I'm just putting the brush in one side and I'm doing it till this point. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same area multiple times till I have a bead. There is no bead here right now, so I will just keep on doing the same area till I get a bead. Bead means additional extra paint hanging at the bottom. Okay, so now you can see that there is an additional extra paint. So now I will just start doing this. I will come down slowly. Okay, and there is an overlap. So the same area is getting painted multiple times. I'm taking from one point to another, then dipping my brush in the paint and again going from another point, this point back. Okay, and the slant is there. So you can see that the bead formation is there. This bead formation will prevent my paint to dry very fast. Can you see that the additional bead formation is there? This bead formation is very important because if you don't have this bead formation, in that case, what will happen? The paint will dry and it will create a brush stroke mark. If you don't want to have a brush stroke mark, in that case, you need to have this bead formation. So I'm just dipping my brush in the paint and going from one end to another. And after reaching another point, I am again dipping my brush in the paint and again going back to the first point. That is all I'm doing here. You can see that there is no brush stroke mark. It is very neat and clean, and I will keep on doing it till I want. And then let's say I want to end now. So what I will do, I will just make the brush thirsty. I will remove the paint from the brush and I will put the brush head at the bottom like this, gently, and it will soak up all the additional paint. If I need to do more than one times, I will have to do more than one times depending upon if I need it or not. I will not touch any of this area. If I see that there is some additional paint, I will just take it from here. Okay, and I will keep this thing undisturbed. You can make it horizontal also at this point, and that is not problem. At this point, I can keep it horizontal. Okay, so I can make it like this also if I want. Can you see that? It is having no brush stroke marks. It is neat and clean and crisp. Okay, and what I did, I will explain you again. So first I placed the brush on one side and I went to another side and I did that multiple times till I got a bead formation. And after I got a bead formation, I did that like this. Each time I'm taking my brush from one point to another, I'm dipping my brush in the paint and I'm again going back from this point to this point. At no point I'm going back and changing anything. So this is called as flat wash. Okay, this is flat wash. Now I will tell you that there is another way of doing flat wash. There are some artists who do that. I don't do that, but I will just tell you how they do that. So they use a hashing technique. So like this, cross. This is also there. Some artists, they use that. I don't do that. I do that this time. This is also good. And then again dipping the brush and again doing like this. And again doing this. Again, the bead formation is there. You can notice that I'm not stopping at the bottom. Okay. Now here the bead is more because I'm always starting from here. You can start from here also. That is not a problem. Just make sure that the bead formation is there. If the bead formation is not there, in that case, you can get the brush stroke marks. Just make crisscross. And you can see that here also, you're getting a smooth, flat finish. And you can keep on doing it till you want to continue to do it. Okay. Now, if I just want to stop here, I will just take this brush and I will just soak the extra paint. If you don't soak up the extra paint, this extra paint will go up and it will create watercolor bloom. So if you don't want to get a watercolor bloom, you do this. Okay. So now this is another way of doing it. Now all the artists, like if you ask me, Meeta, is this better or this better? I will say that these are two different ways of doing it. This will give you a more slightly textured feeling. Like you can see that this is total flat and this is slight, very mild, slight texture is there. Again, this one takes more practice. A lot of practice is required. Flat washes, an artist is judged for the flat washes. If the flat washes are absolutely neat and clean, the artist is considered as more skilled. Now, what I will share is how to do a graded wash, or you can say gradient wash. Some people say graded wash, some people they say gradient wash. So you can call it anything, graded wash or gradient wash. In graded wash or gradient wash, what happens is you start dark and take it light, or you start with one color and try to make it to different color. I will just explain with one color only. So I'm taking paint and I'm going from one point to another point. And again, I'm taking paint and I'm going from this point to this point. Okay, you can do that a couple of times to get the beat. Okay, right? So I will just take the same color and I'm going from one point to another point just to get the beat part. Now, once I see that, yeah, there is a beat formation is there. Now, instead of taking the paint, what I will do, I will dip the brush in the water. So this is tinted consistency water. You can take it clear water as well. So just take the water and go from one point to another point. And again, take water and go from one point to another point. And you will see that hardly there is any change. Just keep doing it. The change will be very gradual. And I'm only dipping the tip of my brush. I'm not dipping the complete brush. Just the tip of the brush I'm dipping in the water. Maybe you will feel that, oh no, there is hardly any change. But just wait. The change is there. It is very subtle change is there. Do not dip the entire brush, otherwise the change will be very fast. That is not a mistake if you change the color very fast. However, if you want a very gradual change, in that case, dip only the tip of the brush. Now let's say I want to end it. I will again use the brush. I will make it thirsty and I will just remove the bottom part of it. Okay, the additional water. It is very important. If you don't remove the additional water, in that case, what will happen is it will go up and then it will create watercolor blooms. Okay, you can at this point, you can keep the paper flat. Just make sure that there is no additional water is there at the bottom. Okay, so this is how you create. If you want to use it as sky instead of pink color, you can use orange color, or you can also use blue color and slowly make it light darker. If you want to have multiple layer of paint, for example, let's say I have already created one painted area. Let's say I have already painted this. Now it is completely dry. Now I can paint again. Okay, again, when you're painting, you can paint like this. Okay, like how I painted earlier, or you can change the angle and you can paint like this. Okay, for example, you can see that here there is light texture is there and here there is no. Okay, I will show you how to do this. Again, another layer you can do that. Okay, so you start here and you're painting like this. And again, you have to form a bead. Make sure that the first layer is completely dry. If it is not dry, then don't try to paint on top of it. So now I'm creating a bead. So you can see that the bead formation is there. Now I will go down. The angle can be 35, 40, 45. Okay. The angle is not more than 45 because otherwise this thing will fall down. The bead will fall down. So you can have multiple layers of paint. right? If I want to stop, I will just take the bottom extra bead with the thirsty brush. You cannot, I will show you. See here, this extra bead, I'm taking it from the bottom. Okay. It is very good idea that you take down the extra one, because if you don't, it will go up and it will create a watercolor bloom. Can you see that there is a little bit imperfection here? And that is because I haven't mixed the paint nicely. So there was a big lump of paint. So that's why this part is slightly darker. So you can expect this kind of imperfection. I can also see that there was a dirt here. So if you see a dirt or something, don't try to lift it now. After this paint becomes completely dry, then if you want to remove any brush hair or any imperfection like this, you can remove that. Also, I never do one single flat wash. If I have to do a same paint overall, what I do is I paint it multiple times. So one time I paint and then I allow it to dry, then I do it again and allow it to dry, and again I do it and allow it to dry. I do it 4 to 5 times so that it gets wonderful. Like there is absolutely no, um, uh, like there is no imperfection. It will not show any imperfection. Exactly like that. If you want to make this as a totally perfect wash, instead of doing one wash, you do it multiple times. Okay, so you dilute the paint nicely. Don't do it with very thick paint, and apply one layer, allow it to dry, then apply same another time, and the third time and the fourth time, like that. And that will help you to get a wonderful graded wash, or you can also say gradient wash. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for all of you, and take care. Bye bye. See you.